What's up? How you guys doing? Happy? Oh, still Wednesday. I said happy like it was gonna be a different day than what it's been all day, child. What's up, you guys? We are here for the Real Housewives of Miami, season 7, episode 10, I believe, is where we are with things. The ladies are going on their cash trip to Sevilla. As Alexia wanted to remind us that, Americans pronounce it Seville, but it's really Sevilla because she lived in Spain for 5 years. So she's the expert. Okay. This is our last week of the late night reviews. Yeah, no, next week I'll probably do it next week, but after that, yeah, you're right. Yes, honey. So next week will probably be the last week of the late night reviews, but we almost at the end of the season. So instead of me doing it on Wednesday nights, I guess I'll do it on Thursday. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I stopped watching after Julia assaulted Gertie. Ooh, okay. Chuck said, "Why am I letting this show work my nerves?" Well, how did it work your nerves tonight, Chuck? What happened? Hey, Auntie. Hey, what's up, Sierra, Tawana, Lock Queen, Chuck? What's going on, you guys? Let's get into this episode. So the ladies are on their way to Sevilla, like I said. So y'all know we have to go through the whole. We see them packing. Lisa is so excited to be packing her outfits, honey. Then we see them all meet up at the airport. Listen. A couple of weeks ago, on one of these interviews that Gertie did, Gertie was defending Lisa with her being late all the time. She said for the goddess party, Lisa got a late call time. And so she felt like production was trying to set Lisa up. And she was like, Lisa's got her receipts and they're going to talk about it at the reunion. And I was like, I could see that. I could see production being messy and shady and kind of setting somebody up. And Lisa's the obvious person for them to set up because Lisa's always late. Like, she has a reputation for being late. So it would be easy for her. But this is what I want to say. What was your excuse for missing the flight, Lisa? I mean, I'll give you, okay, fine. They gave you a late call time. Fine. All right, whatever. But this is what I feel like happened. And I've watched enough of these shows to know some things, right? So here's what I feel like happened. I feel like they stagger the call times because when the ladies show up, or the people on reality shows, when they show up, they have to mic them and then they have to do the walk up. Like when we see them walking up, they have already been there. They had to go get mic'd. So I feel like they give the ladies a staggered call time so they're not all sitting there at the same time trying to get mic'd up, especially if they only have 1 or 2 people on production to do that kind of thing, right? Now, Lisa, because they do know Lisa probably shouldn't get the late call time. That might be a setup, right? Lisa should actually get the first call time. So what I suspect is that Lisa was late for her call time. I suspect that she might have had a late call time, but I bet you I'd be willing to bet $20 right now that Lisa was still late for that call time they gave her. So while the ladies are going through the airport, Lisa misses the flight. We see the other ladies get on the private jet. See, Stephanie, let me explain to you why, even when I be trying. Because, here's the thing. I love the fact that Lisa be getting people together, especially Alexia, because Alexia irritates my soul. But you do stuff that irritates me. Here's the thing. You notice how last week when Dr. Nicole filmed, you notice how Dr. Nicole didn't have to tell you that she had a Birkin? You notice how Dr. Nicole didn't have to even mention how much that Birkin cost? Production told us. And then when she said, "Oh, I have shoes to match," she was talking about the color. Like her Louboutins matched the color of that purse, which was gorgeous, by the way. Do you know how it was just subtle? Bitch, I got $100,000 on my body right now between my purse and these Louboutins. You notice how she didn't have to say, I'm wearing $100,000 right now? Stephanie, that's why I don't like you. Why did you have to be like, yes, the Birkin, the Birkin? And then you had to tell the man, you know, the little Birkins are inside of this big Birkin. And did y'all notice when Stephanie walked in, when she got on the plane, y'all notice how she walked on the plane like this? See the Birkin? Look, y'all. I got my, y'all see how she walked on the plane? Showing us the Birkin. See, that is why you irritate me. And here's the thing. I'm not even going to blame, oh, knocked over. Okay. I'm not even going to blame it on being on nouveau riche. I know people always want to say, oh, that's new money. No, that's not new money, because there are people with new money. Dr. Nicole is new money. Dr. Nicole did not grow, well, she did grow up rich, but it was drug money rich. Remember she said her dad was a drug dealer, and then he ended up going to jail, and then her family lost everything. So she did grow up with money, but not that kind of money. Okay, not $100,000 purses money. She grew up with maybe $5,000 Louis Vuitton money, okay? And I ain't sneezing at a $5,000 purse. I'm just saying there's a difference, okay? There's a difference. That is the reason why, Stephanie, you irritate me, because that's the kind of shit that you do, right? You could have got on that plane with that Birkin, and they would have all known that you had a limited edition Birkin. Every woman on that plane knew what kind of purse that was. That man that drove you there could care less. You talking to him like he give a fuck. Most men don't. Especially a man that can't afford it. And I don't know that man from a hole in the wall, but I suspect that he don't make enough money to be able to buy his wife a $70,000 purse. I don't know that man. And maybe he can, and I'll apologize if he can. But I suspect he cannot. So because I suspect that he cannot, I suspect he doesn't give a fuck. Now, they get on the plane, and Stephanie gives all of them gifts, which, listen, I'm not mad at the gifts, y'all. I'm really not. I do think that's cute. Larsa just wanted to say something in her confessional, talking about who does she think she is, Oprah? She just want to say something, and remind me to come back to Larsa. It's mean what I'm going to say, but just remind me to come back. I'll do it at the end, so I don't want to offend nobody, because it is what I got to say about Larsa is very mean. I'm going to tell y'all now. So just remind me, Chuck, somebody at the end to say it, so I don't want to offend nobody. But oh, he gets to drive the $750,000 car, but it ain't his. It ain't his. Okay, see, Taurus, you didn't see. See, I was gonna wait to the end, but Taurus Moon, since you didn't put it in the chat, I'm gonna just go on and say it. Taurus Moon said Larsa needed that mask. Listen, what the fuck is going on with Larsa face? And I know that's a mean thing to say. I'm not trying to be mean. I know what I'm saying is mean, but it really looks like her fillers are falling off or something. Like her, I don't know if she needed to touch up her fillers. I don't know if she just had some bad filler. I don't know, but her face in her confessionals, it's something wrong, like right in this area, y'all. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I promise you I'm not. And I'm not up on plastic surgery for me to even really be able to pinpoint, oh no, it was her filler, or oh no, her Botox. Like, I don't know what it is, but it looks bad. In her confessional, baby, her face looks horrible. And I don't know what the hell is going on. But moving right along. The fillers are expiring. So The ladies are having a good time on the private jet. To me, it felt forced. I felt like they were doing it for the camera, but I don't know. Maybe they were really having a good time. Whatever. Stephanie, you don't have to keep telling us you don't have friends. That's obvious. You don't have to keep telling us you don't have friends. We got it. Then they get to talking about Alexia. Julia, you felt bad when she said she had no friends. I don't, because I think she don't have no friends because of the way I see her act on this damn show. I don't think she's a girl's girl, so I think that's why she don't have no friends. I mean, she claimed that the story isn't true about her stealing her husband, that he was married when they got, but the math ain't math, and he was still legally married when y'all were dating. That's a fact. Based on when you told us that y'all got together, and based on the date on the divorce decree, you were dating him while he was still married. And I know people do that all the time. I get that. People do it all the time. They're separated and they're still married and they're dating. Got it. But anyway, move. I don't know these people. Let me keep going. Okay. Julia, you are defending Alexia, talking about, so do you think that Alexia isn't a girl's girl, or do you think that Alexia, just you and Alexia just got off on the wrong foot? And Stephanie was like, well, I think she's disrespectful to women, or whatever she said. And Julia had the nerve to say, well, I've never had that experience with her, so maybe that's just your experience. And baby, I'm so glad at production. Y'all know how production like to be shady. Baby, I am so glad that production went back to that scene where Alexia told Julia that, well, you know how to be a prostitute because you Russian. I was so glad that production showed that. And like Adriana said, girl, you clearly have selective amnesia, because Alexia says some real disrespectful shit to women all the time. Like, she did a whole thing last season trying to prove that I was dating a married man, only to find out that her dumb ass didn't print out the full document and didn't print out the page that had his divorce decree. You printed out the page that had his marriage license, but not the page that had his divorce decree. So you was trying to make me out to be a Jezebel. Okay. Um, Baby, Adriana's confessionals this episode were sending me. And she wasn't wrong. Like, Adriana was not wrong in her confessionals this episode, right? So the ladies land, and well, the private jet ladies land. So that's Larsa, Stephanie, Adriana, and Julia. So we found out that there's one presidential suite. They're going to give that to Alexia because this trip is all about Alexia. Well, of course, they get to the hotel and Stephanie's been upgraded to a presidential suite. And then when she gets inside of the suite, it's decorated with roses and balloons and Chanel gifts. Listen, anybody in the chat think that Stephanie did that herself? Oh, Mossad must have upgraded me. Oh my gosh. Guys, look. Chanel. I was sitting there like, Mossad didn't do that. You did that. Girl, you upgraded your damn self, because they said it was only one presidential suite left. So when did you upgrade that to a presidential suite? I feel like as soon as production told them where they were staying, she upgraded herself to a presidential suite. And again, I'm not mad at you for having money and upgrading yourself, right? I'm not mad about it. But it's like you just at every turn, this is why you don't have no female friends, because you can't be a team player, right? The reality of the situation is y'all were all staying in suites. All of y'all was staying in suites. Alexia just had the presidential suite because that's what Bravo does. One person is the trip is about that person or they're the host or whatever, they always have, y'all know they have to make a thing over the rooms, whether it's an Airbnb or it's a hotel or whatever. So you know that somebody had to have the nicer accommodations, right? I feel like Bravo usually probably gets those for free. If they book a certain number of rooms, they probably get a free upgrade or some shit. I don't know. But this why you don't have no female friends, because you can't be a team player. So you mean to tell me that for 4 nights your ass couldn't have stayed in a regular suite? You had to upgrade yourself to or even if your husband did it, you had to get upgraded to a presidential suite. And then on top of that, you got the 5 or 6 Chanel gifts sitting waiting for you in the room. Like, again, it's just so performative. If I'm your friend, like, here's the thing. There's always, always is a strong word. A lot of times, there is a rich friend in a friend group. And everybody knows that this person is the rich friend. Everybody knows that you are the rich friend, right? If you're the rich, and when I say rich, I'm talking rich is being relative, right? I don't mean everybody has a millionaire in their group. I'm just saying everybody has somebody that's probably a little bit more comfortable than. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? But what you don't need to do if you're that person is make everybody else feel like, damn, you did not have to upgrade into a presidential suite for a girls' trip. Be part of the girls' trip. Be in the moment. It's okay. You can sleep in a regular fucking suite for 4 nights. They ain't staying there longer than 4 nights. I mean, I have friends who are a lot better off than I am. And they never make me feel any kind of way about that. I know they could afford certain things that maybe it's not in my budget, right? If we go to a restaurant, yeah, they might order something a little more expensive than what I'm going to order. Or, if we go shopping, they might step into Chanel, you know what I'm saying? But they never make the rest of us feel any kind of way about it. I feel like the way she does stuff it's like, child, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Anyway. But that's why you don't have no friends, Stephanie, because who wants to deal with that all the fucking time? And I'm not saying that people should dummy themselves down for their friend group either, but I just feel like you don't always have to prove you're the rich one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't always have to prove I'm the richest one here. So, what about Gertie should have been the reason they went? Why? Why, Auntie? I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if it had been Gertie, but I mean, they made it about they put Julia and Marisol in charge of the trip, so they picked what they wanted. That's how these things go, child. Now, if they had picked, hell, I don't think anybody this season would have picked Gertie for the trip to be about Gertie, but because she beat cancer. Yeah. I guess. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying. But I guess because they pick, I think part of it, again, when production does these things, they take all these things into consideration. First of all, it was Julia and Marisol. They were hosting the trip, right? So once they chose Julia and Marisol to host the trip, then they get to make the trip about whatever they want to make the trip about. And they decided to make it about Alexia, right? But I see your point though. Like, Alexia and her divorce is not as important as Gertie beating cancer. I got it. I got you. Thank you, Gabby. I appreciate you. My husband just passed of cancer. That's why I'm thinking that way. No. First of all, I'm really sorry about your husband. Like, and sending you loves and hugs. But your point is valid. I'm not saying it's not valid. And you're right. And to me, that should have been a no-brainer, right? But clearly, this season, nobody gives a damn that Gertie beat cancer. Like, clearly nobody cares about that, right? And I ain't seen nobody ask Gertie nothing. I ain't seen nobody volunteer to go with Gertie to the doctor. She may not want people to go with her to the doctor, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, but your point is very valid. I see your point. Please understand, I see your point. And the sad thing is, I don't think there's anybody that if they had chosen them, okay, this is your trip outside of Gertie, I don't think anybody would have said, you guys, Gertie, you know, she just beat cancer. Hey, Don, hey, boo. Why don't we do this as a celebration for Gertie? Like, I don't think even Kiki, I do not think that anybody on this cast would have done that. And that's the sad part. That is definitely the sad part. But those are the same hoes that stormed out of Gertie's spot. Yeah. So the ladies who flew on a private jet, of course, they got there in 7 hours. The rest of the ladies got there in like, I think they said they were 12. Theirs was 12 hours or something like that. So the ladies who got there first, you know, they had time to take showers and probably lay down for a couple of hours before they had to be ready for the rest of the ladies to get there. So they're sitting at the bar having drinks. Now, Stephanie, y'all ain't about to like what I'm about to say. So let me finish first. Let me finish what I'm about to say first for y'all start yelling at me in the chat. Chuck, I'm looking at you. Let me finish. Stephanie, you were talking cold hard shit about Alexia. Y'all were not just having a casual conversation. You were going on a whole tirade about her being insecure and how she's so insecure and she go to sleep at night lonely while you are happy with your man. And like, you were having a whole moment about Alexia as Alexia was walking up. Again, it could have been editing, but you were that, Stephanie. If we're gonna be honest in this conversation, let's be honest in this conversation. Girl, Stephanie, you was talking shit. Okay, you were. Now I ain't mad because I don't feel like you were saying anything wrong, but you was talking some cold hard shit. But Julia, your ass was still wrong for running up to Alexia. Because what that was, y'all, that was damage control. Let's call a thing a thing. Let's call a thing a thing. Julia ran up to Alexia and told Alexia, girl, they were talking about you. You ran up to Alexia and you did that because you had a consciousness of the camera. Let's call a thing a thing. That was Julia knowing how this shit was going to play back at the reunion. That is what that was. Or even later on this trip. Julia was getting in front of any narrative that could be spun that she was sitting there while them ladies was talking shit about her. Same thing on the plane. You was defending Alexia on that plane because the last thing you wanted was for that footage to roll back at the reunion, or for Alexia to see it when y'all see the episodes, and for Alexia to feel some kind of way. That's what that was. Let's call a thing a thing. Let's call a thing a thing. Now, Stephanie, you were talking shit, but Julia, you ran up to Alexia because you was trying to control the narrative. Oh, you was with me, Chuck. Chuck, you was with me? Okay, see? We see each other. Because, again, at the end of the day, I don't be disagreeing with what Stephanie's saying. But honestly, Stephanie, you was doing a lot in that moment. You was really doing a lot in that moment, okay? Because, again, money does not buy you happiness. And everything you talked about why Alexia felt some kind of way, was about money. And, again, don't get me wrong, child. Alexia, y'all know how I feel about Alexia. But at the end of the day, what Alexia is dealing with, I ain't gonna say money isn't a factor, but I think she really does love Todd. Now, I'm not saying that she didn't love the lifestyle that she had while she was with Todd, because listen, I want a soft life too, okay? I'm looking for somebody that's gonna provide me a soft life. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lies, but I also think that she really, truly loves him. Now, the ladies immediately got pissed off because they saw what Julia did. They literally saw how Julia jumped up off that damn stool and ran over there to Alexia. So Now, Stephanie and Adriana was like, I don't even recognize this girl. Like, Adriana, baby, you are playing this part. I'm not even mad. I mean, I'm mad at you, but I'm not mad at you, girl. You are playing this part. You are playing this part, ma'am. Let's call a thing a thing. But Julia don't give a ish what Martina thinks, though. I think she cares about what Martina thinks. I think Martina don't give a damn about what Julia does. That's what I think. I think it's Martina that don't give a damn. I feel like Martina is treating Housewives the way Kelsey Grammer was treating the Housewives with what's Kelsey Grammer's wife that was on Housewives? And remember how he said that was his gift to her? Like, he basically gave her a way to make money. He gave her the spotlight. He gave her Housewives right before he divorced her. That is how I feel. Now, I don't think that Martina's getting ready to divorce Julia, but I think that Housewives, Camille, thank you, Gabby. But I feel like Housewives gives Julia something to do, and so she get away from Martina. Like, I honestly do. The only thing, now that they got these kids, that's a different conversation. But honestly, I do. I think that Martina really don't give a damn. Y'all can't hear me? Sierra says she can't hear me. Can anybody hear me? Right, Chuck. I want a garage elevator too. Oh, it was breaking up. Okay. That could be Julia spun that throwing water on Gertie to Martina. Yeah, well, listen. Here's the thing. And I'm not defending Julia. I'm not defending Julia. But Julia did the same thing that the majority, not everybody, before y'all start yelling at me, but Julia did the same thing that the majority of us do. When we tell a story, we're not going to tell the story like we're the bad guy unless we're ready to admit that we're the bad guy. She went back to Martina and she told that story the way she wanted to tell that story because she wanted Martina on her side. Had she walked in there and said, I yelled, I got in Gertie's face, I yelled at her and I threw the drink on her and I really overreacted, she ain't going to say that. She absolutely is not going to say that. So I understand that, but most people, when they tell a story, especially if they're wrong, but they're trying to get some support, they're gonna spin it in a way that doesn't make them look bad. You know, the difference is I just don't think that Martina. The difference is I don't think Martina is gonna look at this to care. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think she's going to care. Like, Martina has never been at the reunions. Well, no. Did she come to that first reunion? I know. I mean, obviously she didn't come the last reunion. She was sick. But did she come at first? I can't remember. But Martina is normally not at the reunion. So I doubt that even if Martina watches the episodes. But if she does, I doubt we're going to get a response. You know what? I just thought about something. The men don't come to Miami, do they? I can't. My brain. Yes, they do. Because Marcus came. Yes, they do. The men come. Okay, never mind. I take that back. But Todd didn't come. Right? The men. Marcus came. Did Anthony come? Did Dr. Nicole's boyfriend come? I feel like maybe the first season of the reboot, maybe Martina came to that first one. Maybe. I would have to go back on Peacock and look. Because remember, the first 2 seasons, it came on Peacock. So maybe it did. I don't remember, y'all. That was a couple of years ago. I can't remember. But anyway. Yeah, I can't remember either, Auntie. She could have said that and Martina still would have been on her side. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe Martina would have said, okay, you overreacted. You need to apologize to Gertie. And she's not trying to do that. Gertie's cousin came, Anthony and Nicole's father. Yeah, Nicole's father did come. Okay. So the men do come. All right. I take back what I was going to say. The men do come. Okay. So the ladies basically jumped down Julia's throat and told Julia she was wrong. Why would you do that? That was disrespectful. Yada, yada, yada. Boo, boo, boo. And Julia, who by this time to me was drunk. I don't know. Did y'all feel like Julia was drunk by this time? She was drunk, right? And she was just like, don't do that to me. Don't yell at me. And then she sort of like sauntered off, whatever. So Alexia and Marisol have the conversation while they're getting dressed for dinner. They're having the conversation about the glam. I mean, while they're getting in their glam, basically about how Julia came up to Alexia and told her that the ladies were talking about her, right? And then we saw Larsa and Stephanie talking, and Stephanie is in her feelings because she was like, why would she do that? Like, I thought I was in a safe space. We bonded on the plane. I thought I was talking amongst people that I could say that to, and like I was just hurt by what she did. You know, it really hurt my heart, is what she said. It hurt her heart. So they go to dinner. Lisa is still not there. Come to find out, baby, Lisa missed the first plane. Lisa had to take the plane from Miami to London, I think, and then from London to Madrid, and then from Madrid she had to get on a train. Y'all, that has got to be. There is, girl. Do you understand? First of all, she lucky she got her damn bags. All of that, she lucky they didn't lose nothing. And then I know Lisa had 20 suitcases. And she said when she got to that train station in Madrid, she couldn't get no help because nobody there spoke English. First of all, Lisa. And you know she was by herself. Production wasn't even with her because they don't have no footage of it. So she really truly was by herself. Because if there was at least one producer with her, we'd have saw some sort of footage. So Lisa is probably telling the truth that she had to pull all them damn suitcases by herself. She probably was able to get a cart and put all them suitcases on a cart and take them by herself, because she's probably absolutely correct that she got to that train station and she couldn't get nobody to help her. And she probably had 20 damn suitcases. This is what I don't understand though, Yvette. Yvette said her time management is whack. They send cars for them. I could be wrong. And some of y'all who know more about Housewives than me, y'all might tell me if I'm wrong. I honestly think, I know when they go to their scenes, production sends cars for them, unless they choose to drive. But if they're going to be drinking and stuff, a lot of times production sends cars for them. I'm almost certain that production sends cars for them to take them to the airport. I could be wrong. But if they want, maybe I should say, if they want production to send a car, I feel like production would. Because I know sometimes people get their significant others or whatever to drop them off. But then we also see people show up in a black car and get dropped off, a car service. Let me explain something. For an international flight, and Lisa, girl, you fly all the time. For an international, you've taken at least 2 international flights since this season started. You went to Milan and you went to Canada for your daddy's funeral. I don't understand how you this late all the time. And the fact that I feel like you act like somebody gonna stop for you. Like, do you think the plane, you like these people I look at on these TikTok videos, do you think that the plane is going to wait for you? And I would be a lie to tell y'all I ain't never missed no flight, because I have. I would be lying to tell y'all I ain't never missed no flight. Hell, I missed a flight, what was that, like 3 years ago to Vegas. And that was my fault, 120%. Baby, that was my fault. 120%. That was my fault. And if I didn't need to check a bag, they was going to get me on that flight. The guy was like, because it was too late for me to check my bag, but I could have gotten on the plane. But my suitcase was too big. I had to check my flight. It wouldn't have worked. So he was like, yeah. But baby, if I had just a carry-on, they'd have got me on that plane. But it doesn't matter. I was late. It was my fault and I missed my flight. Me, 100% me. But Lisa, and then Lisa didn't call nobody again. How do you not send a text saying, "Y'all, I missed the flight. I don't know all of the details yet, but I'll see y'all in Sevilla, and I'll let you know when I know." You know what I mean? But at least tell the ladies I'm not gonna be on the damn plane. And okay, we'll get to Lisa later. So anyway, Lisa ain't there. So the ladies go to dinner, and there was a flamenco. Flamenco is really big in Sevilla. Um, Marisol got the flamenco singer to sing a song to Alexia. I don't want to be disrespectful of anybody's history. I mean, anybody's culture, right? I do not want to be disrespectful of anyone's culture. Um, but I've heard flamenco before, and even that was a lot that man was doing. I feel like that man knew he was going to be on TV. He saw that camera, and I feel like he put a little extra in there. Now, I don't mean no harm, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I have heard flamenco music before. That was a lot. That man, and he was singing that song like him and Alexia were long lost loves that were reunited. Like, I don't know what, and again, in that moment, Stephanie and Larsa, that is me and Ebby. Okay. I feel like that would, if that had been me and Ebby at that table, that is exactly, because I know they were squeezing each other under the table. I could tell that they were squeezing each other's leg under the table. I could tell they were. And then Larsa just bust out laughing. Baby, that would have been me. I be trying sometime, but that would have been me. Well, Marisol did tell him. Marisol said she hired him and asked him to sing that. Now, she did say that part, but she was like, I ain't tell him to do all this. Like, even Marisol admitted that he was being extra. She was like, I ain't tell him to do all this. So after the man sings and the food starts coming, Stephanie and Alexia get into it. And listen, Julia started the whole damn thing. And you know what pisses me off about Julia? Now, for the most part, Alexia and Stephanie are arguing with each other. And yes, they're not just arguing about a dog. Like, everybody kept making it seem like all they're doing is arguing about a dog, arguing about a dog. No, they're not. They're arguing about the fact that they just don't really like each other. And Alexia was right. Alexia was like, girl, you're not going to come up in this group. I'm the big dog of this group. And you're not going to come up in this group and you're not going to change shit up because I run it. Okay. I run this. That's what Alexia was telling Stephanie. And Stephanie was saying, girl, you don't know me. Okay. I will come through here and I will put my come stomping through with my brand new Chanel rain boots that I bought for myself and pretend like they came from my husband. And I am going to do what I want to do. And I'm the new HNIC up in here. Okay. That's what they were arguing about. They wasn't arguing about no dogs. They was arguing about who's going to be the big dog. And see, Alexia is a lot of things, but Alexia see what Stephanie doing. Alexia see Stephanie coming. She said, girl, don't you coming over here. You trying to lower your money over our heads. Like, ain't nobody impressed. Now, for real, Alexia, you are impressed. But Alexia's point is valid. Girl, and she was like, what are you talking about? I don't lord my money over people. You absolutely fucking do. That whole who wants to ride in my private jet was you throwing your money at those women like that. And you know what I'm mad at? I'm mad at all of those women that was impressed about. No, I'm not. Larsa, the only one I'm not mad at, because I think Larsa and Stephanie are really building a genuine friendship. But Julia, I'm looking at you right now. Adriana, I'm looking at you right now. Y'all fucking kissed the ring to get on that damn private jet. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I would want to fly private jet too. I would too. But I'm not flying private jet when you basically throwing it, like you throwing it at me like that. Fuck that. I will get my happy ass in business class, drink my free liquor, recline my seat, lay down, and take me a good nap. And will. Because Stephanie, you absolutely do throw your money at these women. And you've been doing it since you first got on the show, since you had that fake ass flight 10 minutes up the road to go get a goddamn dog. You absolutely do. Absolutely do. So Alexia wasn't wrong in what she was saying. The problem is Alexia probably ain't the person to get the message. But Stephanie, I have to go back to what I've been saying. You started it with Alexia. And you finally admitted it by the end of this argument. You finally admitted, you know what? I was wrong because of the way I started this off. I started this off wrong. Taurus, I told you, I want to meet the sisters. If anybody know them sisters, if you know their Instagram, let me know. I'm see if I can get an interview. I want to know what they got to say. And that's real talk. What them sisters' name? Who found the sisters down to the Instagram or the TikTok? Let me know. I want to talk to them sisters. But you started it with Alexia. You absolutely did, Stephanie. And then she finally admitted it and she finally apologized. And I can appreciate that she apologized. But why do we have to sit through that whole fucking argument? You banging your chest and shit. It was a lie. And you know the only person that I'm mad at in that whole situation is fucking Julia. Because Julia, you could have said something. Your ass was sitting there stunned. I think you was still drunk. You sitting there standing around the table, and you the only one at the table that know you started that shit. Gertie sitting there like, what the fuck? Kiki is like, let me get another glass of wine. Adriana is like, Julia, you started this. That's what Adriana was saying in her head. And of course, Marisol, she jumped in because that's her good Judy, and she should. She's supposed to. But Julia, why you didn't say nothing? Yes, because Julia side-eyed Stephanie because Stephanie said she didn't like children, but changed up when she found out that Stephanie's husband has money and love for Martina. So they finally get done arguing and they decided they're going to start over. They like, well, now that I got it off my chest, I'm fine now. I don't hold grudges. Y'all do know that before this season is over, y'all do know that Stephanie and Alexia are going to argue again, right? Maybe about the same fucking thing. One, because it's Housewives, but two, because it's Alexia. The only time Alexia let shit go is when she wrong. If Alexia thinks she right, she gonna keep bringing that shit up. How many times did Adriana have to tell Alexia that man wasn't married? Because she just knew she was right. And then when she realized she was wrong, oops. Girl, what you mean, oops? You've been running around all season saying that this woman is married, that this man is married. And that Adriana is some Jezebel. And then you find out and it's just oops. So they talk about Lisa and how disrespectful this was. And they can't believe that Lisa didn't call nobody. And at the very least, she could have called. And it was just so disrespectful. Again, I don't disagree with what they were saying. But Julia, you're not the person that had this conversation right now. Like, Julia, you are not the one that needs to lead the conversation on disrespect. Man, that's... Anybody else could have had that conversation on Lisa being disrespectful except for you. You are not the person in this moment right now that can have a conversation about somebody being disrespectful, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not you. No, ma'am. Now, you weren't wrong what you were saying. Lisa was disrespectful. She could have called. It was rude. ... Right message, wrong messenger. So then Lisa finally shows up later that night and she goes to Marisol and Alexia's room. And of course, they're up drinking, talking, shit, whatever. Lisa walk up in there like ain't nothing wrong. She walk up in there like la 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 la. Hi, ladies. And listen, they was like, oh no, you don't get to just sashay your ass up in here like ain't nothing wrong. And Lisa was like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. And they were like, what you mean you don't want to talk about it? What, like, you could have at least called and told us, like, you could have sent us a message or something. We were worried about you. And Lisa was like, oh my gosh, you guys, what's the big deal? I didn't miss anything. All y'all did was go to dinner. And they were like, listen, you need to at least tell us what happened. Like, why did you miss the flight? Like, what is going on? I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that right now. And then, oh, Chuck, hold on. Because I've been meaning to ask you this for 3 weeks. Hold on. Let me text you right now. Yep. I'm sorry, y'all, because I keep saying I'm going to do it and I keep forgetting. Okay. So, Chuck, I just sent you a text. We can talk about the details later, but I just wanted to tell you that before I forgot again. Okay. But then Lisa said, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And they were like, well, you want to talk about it tomorrow because the ladies are pissed. Like, everybody is pissed at you. They feel like what you did was rude. They feel like what you did was disrespectful. And she was like, y'all, the chat is not moving. I don't know why. I mean, y'all might not be talking, and that's fine. If y'all are talking, I can't see the chat moving. But then Lisa said something very cryptic. What she said was, they're going to be really feel really silly when they find out the real reason why I'm not here. Now, I do think that there's a reason why Lisa missed that flight. I don't think it was just Lisa being flighty. I really think something happened in Lisa, because I think that's why Lisa doesn't want to talk about it. Because Lisa doesn't even want to complain. Lisa doesn't even want to talk about how, oh my gosh, I had to go through the train station all by myself, you guys. It was horrible. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I don't think it moved either, but it's okay. Like, she didn't even, like, for Lisa to not complain, that's not like Lisa, especially something like that. Lisa complained about having to cross the street if it's taking her, if it's inconveniencing her. The fact that she didn't complain about having to literally get on 3 flights, well, 2 flights, 1 to 2. But did she have to get on 3 flights or 2? Anyway, 2 flights of the train. Like, the fact that she had to maneuver all by herself. She didn't have production there. She didn't have anybody with her. No Jody, no nothing. Y'all, so it's something else going on with Lisa. Chuck said, I think something is definitely going on, Auntie. Chuck said he thinks she was stoned. Oh, I don't know about that. But there's something going on. There's definitely more to that story. I don't know what's more to that story, but there's more to the story. Now, the previews for next week look very interesting. Because how about we find out in next week's episode, Lisa is still following Marcus. Now, listen. At this point, I don't even care why Lisa is still following Marcus. If you really value your friendship with Larsa, girl, just unfollow that man. I don't even understand why. Why? Like, I don't see what the big deal is, but clearly Larsa does. And if you and Larsa are working on y'all's friendship and she asked you to do it, girl, unfollow that man. You can follow him from your kid's Instagram account if you really got to see what he got going on his Instagram. Girl, you can create another Instagram page if you really, but if you're really trying to fix your friendship with this woman, hello, it's not that deep. And then we saw on next week's preview that Jody actually texts Larsa. And when the ladies see what Jody said to Larsa, they're all, it's editing. But of course, they're all like, what? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What? So we'll see next week, but it's definitely something more going on. Lisa may be on the same snow as her boyfriend. Well. Excuse me. All right, y'all. Well, we're about to get out of here. Chuck, don't click off yet, please. We're about to get out of here. Thank y'all for being here. Tomorrow, I do not have anything to do tomorrow, as far as I know. Now, I got to double check my calendar, but I do not think I have anything on my calendar tomorrow. So tomorrow, have your notifications on and just be ready, because I got to get Love and Marriage Huntsville. I got to get Heart and Hustle. I have to do Big Brother. Child, I'm gonna try to do another episode of Divorced Sisters tomorrow. So we'll probably have about, child, just be ready. I'll probably do about at least 2 to 3 lives tomorrow on this channel of reviews. So I can get try to get caught up, honey. We'll probably be doing Ready to Love on Sunday morning with Shade in the City. And Saturday, of course, JB and I will be doing Beyond the Gates to get caught up on that. All right, Chuck. I want you to try to, if you could tell me the name of a couple of like bakeries that I could call. I don't want anything fancy. Just and her birthday isn't even. It's like maybe 2 weeks after the trip. But I just thought it'd be nice for us to have a cake and acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. If you could just give me the name of a couple of bakeries that you thought were cute, so we can do that. Love and Marriage Huntsville was working in nerds, but I don't miss Melody. I don't miss Melody either, honestly. But I'll probably, when I get up in the morning, I'm asleep till I wake up. And once I get myself up and get myself moving, then I will figure out the timeline from there. Because I ain't watched their episode yet, and I'm not about to watch one tonight. When I get off of here, I'll probably watch something, and then I'm go to bed. But it'll probably be like an episode of Snapped or something like that. I want regular cake. Or cupcakes. We could do cupcakes. I mean, it doesn't. Cupcakes might actually be easier, so I don't have to worry about getting a knife and all of that. Yeah. I mean, a bakery where I can maybe order like 2 dozen cupcakes. Because I think altogether it's like, it's between, I know it's like about 15 of us all together. So if I could get 2 dozen cupcakes, that'll be cute. Okay. Thanks, boo. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.